All right, we are live, y'all. Listen, I think I was too fast with the trigger finger. Okay, I basically I started and ended the live earlier. I have Miss Vitelle here with me. I say Miss because baby is giving grown woman energy, and I love the fact that like I've just met Vitelle, y'all. You know, as the founder of Women into Networking. When I love meeting new women who are in this place of growth, a journey, healing, supporting. And I was introduced to Vitelle, everyone, through NISA, who is one of our WIN members. So shout out to NISA. And thank you so much for the connection. But this is about Vitelle. So I'm going to ask her some questions today because she has a 9 Lives World Tour that she put together, and it's based on some really powerful things. And I want you to take us through a tiny bit of a journey so that we can see like where it all stemmed from and where you are today. So first of all, just introduce yourself. Let us know who you are.
Okay, we'll start there. Hey, everybody, I'm Vitelle. So nice to be here. So nice to meet the founder of W.I.N. I don't even think it registered for me that you were the founder. So that's amazing. Awesome. So glad to meet you. Yes, I've heard a lot about your group as well. Very inspired by you guys. So I appreciate this opportunity to share. So just for you guys who don't know me and are meeting me for the first time, I'm an actress, producer, writer, director. I do a little bit of everything. Founder of Us Three Productions. I'm a serial entrepreneur, but most importantly, everything that I do is for the glory of God. I use my gifts and talents to draw people to Christ without being churchy, I guess you could say. So, a lot of people are not going to get the word or get inspired by going to church. A lot of people are not going to set foot in a church. So that's what Us Three Productions is all about. We are bringing the entertainment to the people, but the message is through the entertainment. And that's what we do at Us Three Productions. That's my short summary.
So listen, I was muted. I love it. And I'm talking on both channels because like I wanted to get this in a multi-fashion. First of all, you inspire me because when I first saw you, you had, live stream back here. You had the radio station you were on, and you were talking to us a little bit about this journey. And I love how you're saying like, I'm going to give you God, but we're not going to be churchy. I'm not a churchy person. Like I'll stay out the building if it's like that.
A lot of people say that. Yeah. I hear that a lot.
I'm like, don't invite me. I'm at Bedside Baptist.
Right. Right. And I mean, that's the reality though, and it's sad because like a lot of people have experienced church hurt, and it's not the message, it's the people, but they still want that message, or they still, have some healing to do and things like they need God regardless of whether they want to set foot in a church or not. So that's why it's so important what we're doing.
That is powerful. And I agree. I'm like very much a believer. And so when you're speaking my language. I want the people to understand the behind the scenes of what this means for you though. Mm-hmm. So like, why 9 Lives Productions? Like, where did this come from? What is this about?
Man, I don't want to keep sounding cliche, but some questions that are asked, I can literally only say that was nothing but God, because listen, it was a pandemic going on, as y'all know, not too long ago, and we were all stranded inside. And so me being the creative that I am, I was already doing my shows, and I have the show, The Face of Homeless, that a lot of people know about. And that was going on, that had been on the stage 13 times. And then all of a sudden, the world just shuts down, and it's like, what am I going to do? So just like everybody else, I made some adjustments. I went on Zoom. I started doing shows on Zoom, and I said, you know what? I can't hire actors and team and all of the crew and all of that stuff right now, but I can be all of them because, prior to even developing a team of people to help me, I was everything. So here I am like, okay, I'm back in a position where I got to do all the things. But, I just made the best of the situation. And that's when this show came to my mind. It was like, I'm going to play all these characters. It literally just started pouring into my spirit so clearly. It was like something I could see, like I was watching it in my mind all the time, but I couldn't until I moved forward on starting to get it out. It wasn't letting me rest. It was like, I could not shake it. And I kept like, it just looked so big in my imagination or in my mind, as I'm seeing it. I'm like, God, that ain't you, is it? I'm gonna hope that's not you, because like, I'm just over here hoping it ain't God telling me to do this, because that sounds crazy, and I saw the bigger picture of not even what it is now, but even what it's going to be in the future soon. So I just started seeing that, and I had to start acting on it. I started pulling out all my wigs and costumes and just throwing these people together. All these people you see in the back, that I play all of them, but they were developing their own character, and so I took some sticky notes. I started writing their names. I started breaking down my own personal traumas and experiences throughout life, and breaking it down, like, okay, this is the time when I was through homelessness, just started thinking about the pain and the things that I've healed from and overcome. And some of the stuff at that time was more recent that I hadn't necessarily healed from. So, going through divorce and just all the things that had brought, these pains into my life. And I matched each one with the character, and it just started coming together on its own. And then it's just like, oh my gosh, I'm really doing this. And now here we are. What is it, 5 years later? and now it's a whole world tour. And now I'm sitting here looking at these 9 cities, like 9 lives, 9 cities. What is going on? Like, I just still cannot believe what has happened. And it's like, I am actually doing this. There's so many times when I want to run the other direction. I'm like, oh God, this is too big. I can't handle this. This is too much stress. This is too overwhelming. It's too much pressure. It's too much responsibility, or whatever, can run through my mind, because my spirit is willing, but my flesh is weak. But at the end of the day, I just keep putting one foot in front of the other and keep going. And I got to keep showing up, and God does the rest. And that's where we at now.
There's so many things that I just like, I could pull out of this, right? From your faith walk, blindly believing like I just am going to do. And I've had situations where I've surrendered to things, y'all. Thank you, Lord, for the faith. And it's not easy. So first of all, I commend you for taking those leaps, because that is an encouragement for other people. Like, she did it, like she got through it, like, and she actually like did it without having a full plan all mapped out and knowing what the end result looks like.
And no budget. Might I mention that? Nobody.
Well, let's not go into that now, because
don't get me started.
Well, let's go into that a little, because I want people to understand that it's not always about the money. Money is a tool.
Right.
So where have you gotten your biggest supporters and the most support from for this journey?
That's a good question, and very specific. And so I haven't actually thought about that, honestly. My biggest support. Well, I haven't had anyone drop a couple million on us yet, so I can't pinpoint that person exactly, but I know they're coming in the future. And
I'm looking for the person with the millions.
Right, okay. I know. Yeah. So I'm talking to that person that we expecting you. We waiting on you to come through, but we're going to keep showing up and keep putting in the work, so you can see that this is what we're doing and we ain't playing no games. But at the end of the day, right now, my biggest supporters are really the people. The people who show up, the people who buy the tickets. Some people donate. Some people buy tickets for me to donate to people that can't afford to come and want and need to be there. And like, everybody just comes together. And that's the amazing part of this whole process, is that when I do go into the cities blindly, like you mentioned, it's like I literally drove to Orlando. I was so hesitant because I felt God pulling me to Orlando. And I'm like, so should I go there now? It's like, it's still 2 weeks to the show. I'm gonna have to find a place to stay for that long. That's more coming out of my pocket. Like, all this stuff I have to think about. And I'm like, I don't really know exactly where I'm going or who I'm supposed to talk to. None of the stuff. I don't know anything. I didn't even know where me and my children was gonna stay at on the way to driving to. So I'm literally driving down the highway crying like, Lord, I don't know why I'm doing this, but I know you got me doing it for a reason. So I'm just going to go. And so, and that whole process. And when I tell you, I just start like, I'm just hearing from him. And then he gives me a call to make, or somebody will call me, and it just started coming together. It was like, by the time we got through that 6.5 hour drive, we got a place to stay. We got people sponsoring. We got people calling me in for interviews. We got all this stuff going on. And within the 6.5 hours it took me to get there. And by the time I get there, I'm going to interview after interview. And then that person that would interview me would drop everything. Like, And I'm sitting here thinking, like, I know they got jobs, they got radio station, they got all this stuff that they got going on, but they literally just met me and will drop everything and start saying, what does Nine Lives need? What does Us Three Productions need? Like, what do you need me to do? And so God had been working on me for a while now about asking, humility. I have always had a hard time asking people for stuff, but he has worked with me on that for the last several years. And now it's like, don't ask me what you want me to do, because I will give you a list. We got a list over here that I'm getting really good at what is it called? Delegating. That's what God been working with me on. So I will give you something to do. And so it's like everybody just keeps joining the team and is growing. And people, and by the time we leave from Orlando, great show there. Now we got all these people in Orlando helping us to pump up all the other cities. So it's like, wow, like this is just keeps going. So the people are really the biggest supporters at this time.
Okay, well, I am so happy for you for actually getting that together. It takes true leadership, y'all. Agree with me or not here on the live stream. And if you want to see who I'm interviewing today, Vitelle, Nisa, thank you for connecting us. She's telling her story, and she's also looking for that, that audience, the people that support her. And she's also looking for the $1 million donors. Okay. Being able to ask for the things that you want, I think that's powerful in itself. And can we just be honest? Because we do survey a whole community of women entrepreneurs. Mm-hmm. And one of the biggest things, and I want to ask you this too, from a personal level, right? One of the biggest things that I've come across and that I've seen other women come across is that fear of asking, like you said, mm-hmm. and just not wanting to receive, not be open to receiving help, right? Because it's not even about asking. It's like someone goes, hey, can I help you? And you go, no, I got it. It's like, why are you trying to be strong? Right. Like, what's up?
We be doing that.
My question was really like, y'all, and listen, it's the same thing for all of us, right? Y'all, listen, put a heart if you agree. But if you think back on things in your life, where do you see yourself having those struggles, if you have, and how have you overcome them?
Oh, like I said, that's been me forever. And, I understand now that everything that we are and the reasons that we are, it comes from a place. Like it comes from either our upbringing or something that we were taught that was ingrained in us and causes us to behave that way. So I've always been that very independent person. And because as I was coming up, I was used to doing everything on my own. And I was used to being I'm the oldest, of three. And it's like, I was used to being the one that if I don't do this, who's going to do it? I have to show up and I have to do the things. And so that was engraved in me from the very beginning. And then, so going into adulthood and then ending up homeless, living in my car with my kids, like I will live homeless in the car with my kids before I ask anybody for anything. And it didn't even start off like that. It's like, by the time you ask the first couple people, you let them know what's happening, you ask them, it's like, I start losing friends. People start judging people, like their reaction is like, okay, you know what? I'm gonna stop asking anybody for anything. So it's like, we learn this behavior from our experiences and how people are responding to us asking, instead of getting to the point where it's like, okay, well, if you can't help, then keeping it moving. It's still 8 billion people in this world. Somebody's going to be willing to help me. And so not being afraid of that fear of rejection, like, cause that's going to happen and people got their own problems. So I get it. But at the same time, it's like, if you need help, you got to keep knocking until the door opens, and so that's where I'm at now. But compared to where I was then, like after I told the first few people, that was it. And then after that, nobody knew we were homeless living in our car. And I still was working. I still was on set. I was working with Tyler Perry. I was doing all these things and nobody would have ever known. And I just kept it to myself. Like, why would I tell anybody else if they're going to disown me? Because to act like as if I'm just choosing that lifestyle for whatever reason they thought, because people, they're so judgmental. So that's what we have to deal with, unfortunately. But don't let that stop you from asking.
Yes. That's powerful. I want y'all to hear this, because this is one of the things that I think really is a betrayal for us, because we have these people in our lives until troubles and trials come through. And then it's like, now y'all not there. And, usually we're the saviors all the time. Like, you sound like you have a really big heart too. So always being the one that people can, depend on and be there for. But when you need someone, right? Like, y'all, listen, this is the same way in business. When you need someone to be there, it's like, it's desert. It's like, what, like, and people will judge. And so I honor that, because I think if we know that's a natural part of that growth, and especially you sharing the story about you walking on faith this entire, nobody knows what that looks like for you, right? So I appreciate you sharing that. I really want to hear a little bit about where you are looking to go. Like you said it a little bit before, because we're talking about some of our challenges, so y'all can learn from Vitelle. She's been through some stuff. And I didn't skip over the fact that you work with Tyler Perry, so we're going to get back to that. But I love me some Tyler Perry, not because he's a great actor, not because of necessarily his story. They're all great, but that is a hard working man. He is a smart man. He take his business seriously.
Right. Yes. He actually challenged me a little bit. I don't know if y'all watched in his documentary at the end. He was like, nobody can outwork him. And I was like, we'll see about that.
I love it. We need you on the women. We need you on another live series called Women Behind the Fame. Right. Because there's so many of us that are back there and know, like, we outwork them, but they'll never put us in the spotlight.
Right.
Okay, appreciate you sharing that, because that's going to be good. I want to go back to that though. I do want to hear about the goals. Like this, you're in Huntsville, Alabama this month coming up. Birmingham. Yeah. Okay, so talk about that a little bit, because I know there's going to be some goals there, some things that you're looking for. When you come to Atlanta, I'm trying to rally up the troops. Okay.
Oh, you're in Atlanta, yay!
Yeah. So when you get here in March, you know, we're looking to get the people together. You know, we want to hear about the resources. We want to hear about that so we can network. You know, and that's part of the W.I.N community, is like when you have a network of individuals who know somebody, who knows somebody, who knows somebody, it's not so hard trying to get what you need. And who spending all their time looking for people anyway? So let's talk about it. What's happening in Huntsville? I'm in Birmingham, Alabama.
So yeah, I mean, the first thing is like what you said, like just needing people to spread the word and bring the community together, bring their church groups out, bring their girl groups, whatever they got going on. Like we need people spreading the word on this, because again, we're coming to cities. And I had listed some of the dates earlier before we started. And so if you look at the dates, it's like, wow, there's literally just 2 to 3 weeks between each of these shows. So that means by the time one show is finished, we literally have 2 or 3 weeks, depending on which show we're talking about, to get ready for the next one and prepare something that people plan a year ahead of time. So we need vendors, we need sponsors, we need the locations. In some cases, we don't even have the locations. There's just a couple left actually that don't have the locations locked in yet, but it's like God is just locking it in as we go. So that's part of that faith walk, but it's definitely a matter of just spreading the word, because you don't know who knows somebody who knows somebody. And so the more we get it out there, like I always do a video the week before the show to say, hey, this is what we need for the next show. Like, this is how the last show went. This is what we need for the next one. And I'll keep sending that out and ask people, hey, if you could send this to 10 people, like that's another thing to piggyback off what we were talking about earlier. Not only do we have a problem with asking people for stuff, but we feel like if we even send people a text message that we're bothering them. Like, we have got to stop doing that. Like, you don't know who that text message is going to bless, or if you tag somebody in something, who is going to bless. So we hesitate, and I'm asking, even if I ask 10 people to send this out to 10 of their friends, each of those 10 people, sending it to 10 people and asking them to do the same. Think about how quickly that will multiply if people would actually do it. The problem is that so many people look at it and say, oh, that's nice, and keep it moving and go on about their life, not realizing that we're making a difference in the world for people who are struggling with depression, with suicidal thoughts, people that are going through domestic violence situations and need help getting out. Like, there's some real life stuff going on in the world, but this is the world we live in. I mean, think about it. California's on fire, but it's more people crying about TikTok than it is California on fire. So you see what I'm saying? It's like, that's the reality of the world that we live in. And it's like, it's crazy to me that it's so much easier to get people to talk about stuff that is not making a difference in your life. It's so much easier for you to turn on Netflix and watch something that's not going to help you grow or do anything for you at all than it is to get you to come to a show that's going to help you to heal, because we all need some healing. So, just reminding people, like, send those videos out, tag people, share the lives. Whenever you see me on here talking about this, it's not about, it's not about me. It's not about building my following up. It's about getting that word to people who need it. And your obedience in doing so could literally save someone's life. You don't know who's sitting there right now about to take their own life. And then they get this text message from you and they like, oh, well, hold on. That's how God uses us. So we're not even allowing them to use us because we're so hesitant and thinking we're going to bug somebody. The worst that can happen is they say, hey, don't text me no more. Or, if you tag them, they like, untag yourself. Like, I used to be very hesitant with that and think like that too, but no more. I'm like, I will bug the heck out of you. Like, you either going to get sick of me and block me, but then guess what? You missing out because I know where I'm going. So you can either go with me, or you gonna be watching me on TV saying, dang, I wish I wouldn't unfollowed her, because don't try to come back. You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying, I ain't trying to get off on a tangent, but you know what I mean? So, that's what we're needing most of, is just the spreading of the word, so that the people who can really assist can help. We need vendors in every city. Some of the cities still need opening acts. So if you're in any of those cities and you're a performer, you can reach out. We need opening acts in some of those, as well as some of them need locations. I think we're still working on Washington and Boston. It's the up north places right now, I think, are the ones that we still need the location for. So yeah, that's that.
Okay. So so right now you are on a roll because you're first of all, you're working off faith. So that's always going to work. Mm-hmm. Okay. And you're doing the work. So I think that is, part of it too, because you're right. There's so many things that you're going to experience when you actually do the work. You're going to get rejection. Mm-hmm. You're going to get people, you know what I'm saying? That and it's all kind of things. So I appreciate you sharing that. I do want people to understand too, that if you're listening and you heard what she said about the different types of things that they're experiencing in this play. And I love the fact that it's 9 lives, like it's your life in 9 different ways. Right. Like you literally are teaching people through your experiences at once. Like, hey, this is this time where I was, homeless and I didn't have anywhere to go at that time. And what does that look like? I believe sometimes we are caught up in what it looks like for other people. So we miss it when it happens to us or for us, because the thing that we go through is going to be our, purpose in the end, because we can teach someone, we can help someone. And I believe God uses that to mold us. Like we become better people when we get through. And not leaning on our own ability, because clearly if we could do it ourselves, we would just do it without fail. So, for those women who are in this space, and this is why I wanted to ask you about the goal in the future, like what this looks like in the future. I look at this as something that saves the lives of young women all around the world when they are experiencing something and don't really know what it looks like. You have young girls that are experiencing domestic violence all the time, and they think that it's normal. You have people who are actually going through a lot of tumultuous situations and they just don't know how to get out. They just can't even think straight. And I think that being able to be a good friend or a good family member, y'all listen, at the sound of my voice, if you have friends and family who are struggling in their lives, you need to be the conduit for their success. Give them a ticket. Right? If they're in Birmingham, Alabama, get them a ticket. If they're in Atlanta, get them a ticket. If you have resources and you dip and dabble in that field, right? Or if you're in the production industry or in video, whatever it is, because this is a connection piece, right? You never know when you connect with Vitelle, who she may know, right? You never know. So this is my call to action for, you guys to make those connections. Vitelle, how do you want them to connect with you if they're a vendor, because I'm going to show them the screen on Eventbrite of what it looks like when they go to buy their tickets. But how would you like them to connect with you if they're like, right now, I need to send her something because I want to be that?
Sure. So the best way to connect with me is by going to vitelle.net. There you're going to find all of my social media platforms. Of course, a way to email me. So you can go to vitelle.net. That's my website where it's all things in one place. You can also text us at 770-626-5075. And that's a good way to get in touch too. And then as far as vendors and sponsors, I definitely recommend emailing. That email you should be able to access through the website where it says to book me. But just so you have it directly, that email is heisustree productions.com. That's HEISUSTREE US, the number 3, productions with an S at gmail.com.
All right. Look, I'm gonna try to get it together because this is some quick typing over here. I just want them to understand where to get where to connect with you. He is us production 3 productions at Gmail.
Yep, that's right.
Okay. And then 770-626, last 4?
5075.
5075.
Mm-hmm.
And the website is vitelle.ent.
Vitelle.net.
NET. Sorry. I was thinking of entertainment, y'all. So the thing about this, I want you guys to have this information, and I'm going to share it with you here. When you reach out to Vitelle, tell her where you heard her from. That way we know, the W.I.N community is making some type of impact in the world. Mm-hmm. We do also want to hear, your advice. Give us something that a young girl may be listening to you, or anyone listening to you and experiencing any of those things that you talked about. What kind of advice would you give them outside of like sharing with their friends, family, and coming to the production?
People who are experiencing these specific topics. So it's going to be different with every scenario, but I will sum it up to say that if you are going through something traumatic, if you're in a place in life where you feel like it's the end of the road, this is as bad as it gets, especially those of you who may be in a position where you're thinking about making a permanent decision, understand that the situation, the circumstance is temporary. We don't want to make permanent decisions based off of temporary feelings or temporary positions that we are in our life. Some situations you can resolve by putting in the work. Some things you just have to wait it out and trust God that he's working behind the scenes, and stay prayed up. And there's so many solutions to all of this. I couldn't possibly go through the whole list, but I will say that at the end of the day, there is a solution. There is a way out. And just know, just see that light at the end of the tunnel, and know that this is temporary, that time passes, people age, things change, and life goes on as long as you allow it to. So just hang in there, keep pressing forward, and God's got you.
I love that so much. Thank you for sharing that. And before we tone down this live stream, y'all, because we wanted to give Vitelle some time with you all. And then, of course, she's giving us her time, so we respect that. We value it. If you don't mind, just give us some goals that you are looking forward to achieving with your productions, maybe in the future, what that looks like. Because I know you said you had a vision. We would love for you to give us a little peek.
Well, Us 3 Productions is, man, I don't even know how to put this into words, but the future looks bright from here. I will say that. And I don't find it a coincidence that I recently saw the Hollywood sign burning, and that is the vision that God gave me for this flyer prior to that ever happening, with this burning in the background. God is reclaiming Hollywood for his people. There is so much going on in Hollywood right now. We all know that it basically runs America when it comes to the entertainment industry and the influences that we have in the world. And the good ones need to step up. God's people need to really step up and utilize this tool that is media and production and all things Hollywood, and bring it back to God. That it's time. And so that's what Us 3 Productions is doing. That's what I can't even say what we're going to do. Like, we're doing it. It's just going to keep growing and getting bigger and bigger. And all of the shows that you see coming from us, whether it is a live stage performance, a movie, a book, everything that we produce, and yes, music is on the way as well. Everything that we produce is going to have a message that is life-changing, that is important, that is of God. And we're not going to waver or change that for anybody. I don't care how much money we are offered. We're not about to switch it up like some people do. And I can say that. Y'all quote me on that, because the message is too important. And at the end of the day, all of this stuff fades away. All of this stuff can burn down. The only thing that remains is the impact that you have. So that's what Us 3 Productions is all about.
That last part really touched me. I like that. You're going to have to put that on a t-shirt or something. I mean, really, it was powerful. I don't know if y'all are hearing this as clearly as I am, but it's pretty powerful. What you're doing and how your vision. I mean, honestly, like I'm a vision person. Like when God gives me a vision, I'm like, really? What? Like, and so I can't imagine how big that feels for you. Like, I can't imagine how scary too it
Yeah.
may be to like walk into areas that are, but I do love your faith. And I love the fact that you seem equipped mentally to be in a space where you're like, okay, let's take it on. So, let us know, of course, we're getting our tickets here in Atlanta for your play. We want to support you as much as possible. We actually have some goodies that we're going to be putting in for your sponsor bags here in Atlanta. We have some authors and we're actually writing our own book as well, but I don't know if that's going to be like ready yet, right? We have co-authors, about 7, I think, co-authors in our community, including NISA, that is going to be sharing their stories in this book. And we would love to be able to support you with that as well. But anything that you would like to share before we get off of this live? Because we said a lot here, and we'll have to come back to the Tyler Perry on another time, because I got some questions.
So do I. Don't get me started. That's all I'm gonna say. But
okay, gotcha. Well, the women behind the fame will expose. But this is what I do. We just want to hear anything you would like to share, anything like to tell our community, because we're all about empowering women entrepreneurs and the men who support them, right? So that's anyone in your life who really, really lifts a woman up and make sure that we are empowered in all aspects in life and business. Anything you would like to share before we get off?
Man, it's so hard to wrap it up at the end because I've said so much. I be having to watch the playback because I don't even remember what all I said. I just know I said as God gives it to me. But I definitely want to encourage the women entrepreneurs, and I think we kind of touched on it a little bit earlier. Like, don't feel like you have to wait until you have enough money, you have enough following, or whatever it is that you feel like you need more of before you can start. At the end of the day, if God gave you the vision and it's your purpose, you start walking in it, and God will provide the rest, and everything else will fall into place. It's never too late or too early to start. You start when God gives it to you. If he say jump, you say how high. You don't say, well, in a minute, because right now I got to get this money up first, so go ahead and just do it. Just do it. Don't be afraid. I know that's easier said than done, but you're looking at a living testimony. I'm doing it scared. So just keep pressing forward. You got this.
I love it. Well, thank you so much, Vitelle. Your story is amazing. Can't wait to continue connecting with you and connecting with other amazing women here in our community and worldwide, because we love that. Have an amazing, amazing day. Thank you so much for you guys popping on as well. Nisa, you did an amazing job, Queen. Vitelle is blessed to have you. Nisa's been posting in the live stream, making sure that we have the right numbers, phone numbers, emails. We got you, Queen. It's right. It's right.
She's omnipresent too, by the way, because she's on your live stream. She on these live. She on everything at one time.
Amazing. She's amazing. And I was actually just bragging about her behind the scenes before I got on with you too. So, we are all a reflection of each other because we align, we attract, and I think we are such powerful, powerful women. Keep going, Queen. I'm definitely wanting to see your journey and be a part of it as well. So thank you for allowing me to interview you today.
Thank you so much. I appreciate you. It's my pleasure.
Awesome. All right, y'all, we're going to get out of here. Y'all have an amazing day. Y'all have an amazing day. We will see you guys in the next live stream in the Women into Networking community. And y'all make sure y'all join as members, support us, okay? Because everything is nonprofit, but it goes towards our mission, and y'all know what that's about. All right, bye. Have an amazing one.
Bye.